I created the new Zoom call script last night. Oh my God, that took forever. It was like a mixture of like ChatGPT 01 and like 4.5, and it wasn't quite getting it right. So I had to like do it all last night, but it's done.
Hmm.
It really sets the call expectation really well, goes into tackling everything. It goes over the pitch on what we do. Let me just go over what we're going to cover today. Is that cool? And they're like, yep. And then it covers like 5 points. And then after that, it tells them what to do step by step. The art of the Zoom call. It's in like all of these videos. I tagged it at the bottom. You see Zoom call script new.
Hmm.
Say we had hundreds of agents. We need them to have a script because we can't rely on just having some people that are top producers because then it'll just be 10%. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so we need people to have a script that works. So that way, as long as they go through the script, like they're going to do okay. This is kind of what I thought up. I try to make it as short as possible, but it really gives them a lot of guidance. Because this Zoom call is recorded right now, can I role play this with
Yeah,
you?
let's do it.
Because I'm going to
Do it.
take that video and I'm going to put it into the shadowing. So
I'll be
look,
the client. You'll be
yeah.
the. Okay, cool.
So I'm the apartment locator. You're the new client. Let's say you just entered the Zoom call. So Locator IQ sent both of us a text. We tapped on the link. Now we're on the Zoom call. I'm going to probably laminate this call script on my desk. And that's how I'm going to have all the agents do as well. It's like, yo, laminate this. Just keep it
Yeah.
on your desk until you start making money. And
Yeah.
then we recommend always having it. Hey there. It's great to meet you. I'm Pierre Meggi with NAL. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you, Pierre.
Awesome. Thanks so much for hopping on the Zoom call today. I'm a licensed real estate agent specializing in apartment deals. It's my job to match you to the perfect apartment at no cost, hoping to build a long lasting relationship with you for when you're ready to buy a home. All I ask is that you list my name and company on your rental application so the apartment community knows I referred you. That's how I receive credit and it doesn't change your rent or any specials or concessions you'll receive. Does that sound good?
Sounds amazing.
Great. Now let's go over what we're going to cover on the call together. So, number one is survey answers. We'll review the details you shared on the survey so we're on the same page about your apartment needs. The second thing we're going to cover is the location. We'll use our locator database to draw a circle on the map around the area you're interested in. Our database is super accurate, so that's a nice part about working with us. Number three, live pricing. We'll talk about how to quickly check for up-to-date prices anytime. Then the fourth thing we're going to cover on today's call is scheduling tours. I'll explain the best way to schedule apartment visits here in our city. And then finally, number five is we're going to go over our bonus offers. At the end of the call, I'll share two special services we provide to our clients that set us apart from our competition. Does that sound okay?
Sounds great, Pierre.
Cool. All right. So that covers basically the call expectations there. A lot of apartment locators that are just used to doing this, I think that once they're done setting the call expectation script, they don't really have to go on to the rest of the script. In case someone needs it, it'll go over step by step what to do. But like for me, I'm already used to doing this. I can kind of only laminate this part just so I know how to set the call expectation, but then I can just kind of do it by myself.
Yeah, I think it's important to probably put like some bullet points. Like now go over their client card, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I have here is reviewing survey answers. You could just follow along. And here it's like, I kind of tell them what to say in a sentence to get them going. Let's start by looking at your survey answers. Give me just a second to pull up your survey. Is that cool?
Yes.
Right. And then you would go to Locator IQ right here. And then you would go to like your pipeline and then Locator leads, the pipeline. This looks overwhelming because this is our company account, but really there's like three. Most locators will have the Locator pipeline, the NAL Connect, and then the collections. You would probably appear under new leads right here, or no, under booked call because you booked a call with me. So you would be here. I would just click into you. You see all of this stuff like when you click into the client card, all the pre-qual survey answers are right here. Like when's your move-in date, your desired location. So I would just pull this up and then talk about it with you because it's important to get on the same page. And sometimes, this is where the work comes in. We have to extract feedback from people because they're so general. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's important to confirm these survey answers so that way you can take a really general client and even help them understand more what would work best for them. So here with you at this point, I would just say, awesome. So let me just pull this up. I got it pulled up. You don't really have to share your screen at this point, but you can. And so I would just say, hey, so is your move-in date still March 1st?
Yes, it is.
Okay, awesome. And you see, if it wasn't, I would just change it. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So boom, you can just change it and update it. So I'm updating this as I'm confirming with you. Awesome. So your desired location is a domain or arboretum. Which one would work better? Do you work in the domain, Alex, or the arboretum, or which?
Yeah, I work in the domain, so the domain would be perfect.
Okay, cool. So the domain is perfect, but arboretum's like 5 minutes away. So you're still cool with being in the arboretum as well, or would you
Yeah,
rather be in
yeah,
the
like
domain?
10 minutes around the domain is perfect.
Oh, okay, great. Well, if that's the case, 10 minutes around the domain, you can get seriously lower rents if you're not in the heart of the domain. So is it really important to you to actually be considered in the domain so you get all the shops and the stores? Or what's more important? Do you want to save a little bit more and be 5 minutes outside of it?
I'd rather save a little bit more and be just a little bit outside.
Oh, okay, great. Awesome. Let me take a quick note of that so I understand. 5 minutes outside to save more money. Sound good?
Yes.
Awesome. And so are you looking for a 3 bedroom still?
Yeah, 3 bedroom would be ideal.
Okay, great. Because remember, the more additional rooms you add, you jump up in price bracket. So if you can technically do a 2, it will always be less expensive. But if you absolutely need a 3, that's cool too. I'm just here to make it clear that the more bedrooms you add, it's a big jump in price for you.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm good with being a little bit further out, 5 to 10 minutes to save money and still get the 3 bedroom.
Okay, cool. So 3 bedrooms really important to you. Awesome. Here I asked you to type in all of the must-have. So it looks like your minimum square footage is like 1,500 or so. Got it. And then you would prefer no breed restrictions on your dog because you have like a pit bull. Is your pit bull ESA certified? You have an ESA letter?
No, no, what's that?
Oh, okay. So a lot of apartments here in Austin, they are very pet friendly, as you probably understand. But when it comes to having a pit bull or a husky, I have a husky myself. So here in the city, a lot of apartments don't allow certain breeds. So even if you're super qualified, you will get denied if your dog is on that breed restriction list. So one way we can get around that is by going to a resource I can share with you. It's called esapet.com. What they do is they run you through a survey through a licensed therapist to try to get an emotional support letter for your animal if you qualify, which most people do by the time you're done with the survey. And this letter will arrive in your email within the same day, and you can use it to waive any kind of deposits, extra pet rent, and then the breed restrictions don't apply to you if your animal has that ESA letter. Would you like for me to share that resource?
Oh yeah, I definitely will do that right away. That sounds great.
Okay, awesome. And then you move on. So max rent is 2,100. Is
Yeah, I
that
got a
kind of
little
your max?
wiggle room. I could go up $100 if the property's right.
Got it. Because we're going outside of the domain, I think the 2,100 might be okay. Are you looking for a newer built property, Class A, with better amenities and finishes, or are you okay with a property that might be 10 or 15 years old?
It could be 10 or 15 years old as long as it has the space and the price point.
Awesome. Okay, so for the $2,100 range, that will be fine. The apartment might not be brand new if it's a 3 bedroom. One thing to consider, however, is if we bump up your price to 2,400, we're seeing some new apartments around that price point, and they might have a really big special, like a month or 2 months free, where if you prorate the special, it still drops you to close to around the $2,100 mark. Would you be interested in maybe raising the base rent if we can lock you in on a huge move-in special and help you save?
Yeah, that would sound nicer actually. If I could save the money by using the months for free, like you were telling me, then that would be great. If I could I can discount my rent with that.
Yeah, for sure. So the property might not be able to do it directly, but all you have to do is just start paying rent through a separate checking account and connect it via the direct deposit. For instance, when you move in, if they're giving you 2 months free, still pay what you would normally pay, and that will allow you to prorate the rent throughout the entire lease term. So if the for instance, if the rent is $2,400 and they're doing 2 months free, you can really save. Let me pull up my calculators just so you understand the amount of savings here. So 2 months rent saved over a year lease. So that's like $400 off if we can get you 2 months free. So from 2,400, subtract that by 400. If we prorate the specials, that drops you to $2,000 a month rent. And so this way, even though the base rent seems higher, because we're prorating that special, your actual net effective rent comes down closer to 2,000,
Oh
but you
wow.
get a much nicer apartment with way less bills as far as energy efficiency because the machinery is so much newer. So it
Yeah,
actually makes a lot more sense. Does that work for you?
sounds a lot better.
Okay, cool. So we'll make that note. It's 2,100. Perhaps we could increase it if there's a like a large move-in special. Perfect. And then your credit score is over 700, so no issues there at all. And then there's 2 occupants. So are you moving in with like your girlfriend, your
Yeah,
wife, or
with my
something?
girl.
Okay, awesome. 2 occupants there. And does she have decent credit and no criminal, nothing like on her?
Yeah, she's over 700 as well.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's see here. And then type in your total monthly income. I see that you missed this question. What's your total gross monthly income combined with your girl as
Yeah,
well?
we each make 6,000 a month, so
Awesome.
over
Here
10K.
we go. Sweet. So let me take a quick note of that. Awesome. And it looks like we don't have any specific background issues at all. No
No,
credit
we're clean as
issues,
a
no
whistle.
criminal. Perfect. That pretty much covers everything we need to know. So I think we're on the same page now. We have a plan on the apartments we're going to approach, hopefully something newer with a big special. So let's go ahead and just move on with the next part. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. So the next part here is we're going to get into really pinpointing your exact location. So let me boot up my database and we're literally going to draw a circle on the map around the areas that you'd like to live. Does that sound good?
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay, cool. And then here you pull up the database. So for me, I would go to IQ and then I would come down here to Spark. Boom. Now we're in Spark. Now at this point, you can share the screen on Zoom. And so I would just go in here and then let me hit show. I'm going to hit escape. So this menu pops up, show video panel, expand it. And then here, I'm going to click on the share green button right there. So share, click the desktop and then hit share. Is my screen sharing already,
Yeah.
Alex?
Oh, yeah, I can see it
Okay,
all.
cool. Awesome. So now that you can see my screen, this is the proprietary database that we use as licensed real estate agents. It's only available to licensed real estate agents, and it's way more accurate than any other popular online website. So it's pretty cool working with us. Let me go ahead and pull up the map now so we can get really specific on the exact locations that you want to live. We would go into this view, cards. So you've got your list view and then you got cards here. What I'm going to do is basically just like zoom in on the domain and then we can draw. So I know you said that you're going to click on draw. I know that you're interested in the domain. Would you like to come up to like Parmer, Mopac, or is that a little bit too far for
No, we can go up that far.
Okay, cool. So we're going to go here. We're going to make sure we're covering the Arboretum as well. And then are you okay with a couple minutes south of the Arboretum as well?
Definitely.
Great. So I'm going to draw a circle like this. And how does that look like to you? Is that too south?
No, that's good. I like the width around it. Like, as far as the radius goes, it's perfect.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've got the domain right here, Arboretum right there. And then this with traffic will keep you 5 or 7 minutes from the domain. So I think this is the perfect circle. I'm glad that you could confirm that. Once we do this, you can see it's only going to show properties in this area because it's still selected. You can go over here to list. I definitely would like hide this.
Yeah.
Like hide the commission always, even before
Yeah.
you share the screen.
Yeah.
You don't
I
want.
do that all the time. I always hide it.
Yeah, I just leave it like hidden. So that's score, especially if I'm about to start a Zoom call. I just come over here like in advance and make sure it's not even checked on. Yeah, I had a client ask me about that once. It was in my career when I was a beginner. They were like, "What does 50% mean?" And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, that just means 50% occupied." And then
Don't
I
worry,
just
it's units.
yeah, I learned the hard way. Okay, cool. So it's still circled here. And so, yeah, this is where you just get into it and say, you just start finding an apartment. You don't even have to do this with the client on the Zoom call. A lot of the times, I just like to confirm the circle. And then I'm just like, great. Hey, we got your desired locations. I know the plan. Thanks for going over the survey. And I don't do the whole list search with them. I just want them to confirm the area that would work. And so at this point, I would refer back to the script here.
Yeah.
And then where is the script? Here it is. And then just say like, awesome. So I'm gonna get that done. I'm glad that we confirmed the desired location. So now let's talk about how to find live pricing. So at the end of this call, I'm going to shoot you over an email with a property report of your list of apartments. So let me show you how you can find live apartment prices in the best and fastest way possible. Here, I do some bullet points. So all you have to do, Alex, is once you receive the apartment list, pull up your apartment list, click on that Earth icon, and it's going to shoot you directly inside of the apartment's official website. Now, once you get there, all you have to do is click on the floor plan tab or the apply now tab, and you'll see all of the up-to-date pricing and availability. It literally changes every single day, but you can monitor it in real time directly on the website. Does that make sense, what I just said?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. And what's cool about actually going to the apartment website and looking for yourself is that you can put in the time and play around with all of the different factors like move around the lease term. Maybe you can change your move-in date, a few days here and there, and really kind of tweak the settings to find the best price that works for you. No one will really put in this extra work. Even if you call the apartment, they're not going to sit there and play around with the different factors. So sometimes you can find really amazing pricing just by manipulating that stuff yourself on the website. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this method is faster and more accurate than calling the leasing office, since a lot of the times they just refer back to their own website anyways. Great. Well, I'll email you a video guide on how to do this along with your list of apartments, just in case you want to see it.
Great.
And so like at this point, you could show them, I guess. Sometimes I do show them because I just really want them to grasp that. And so I'm like, hey, let's just do one real fast. I just type in whatever property, the Montero, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me just show you what I'm talking about. And then I'll still send you that video guide in the email. But all you got to do is you click this menu icon. Usually 80% of the times it's under floor plans, Alex. And then when you scroll down, you should be able to see the pricing. Look, boom. And what's cool is you can see the map. You can see the exact apartments that are available on here. And then this is where you can play around with some of the factors that make sense to you. Okay. So if you're moving in, within 30 days, you select that. If you're looking for a 2-bedroom only, you can select that. And this is showing you all of the available units right now. And if you look at the apartment numbers, you can kind of go find where they're located on the map. So this is what everyone's checking anyway. So you might as well take a look before you go tour yourself. Make sense?
Oh, yeah.
I'll shoot you another little video guide in case you forget. So don't worry. Now let's talk about scheduling tours, since we just went over how to find live pricing. Scheduling tours, Alex, in our city is a little bit different. A lot of the times, apartments typically operate on a first come, first served basis, Monday through Friday. I recommend simply showing up for a tour at any time, but at least 1 hour before they close. Like that should be the latest you arrive is an hour before they close, like 5 p.m. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And if you can, try to avoid lunchtime, like 12, 12:30, 1, because they take lunch and they might not be there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so you can go anytime you want, Monday through Friday. Now, for Saturdays, apartments are a little less staffed. And so reach out to me directly if you want to set up a tour on Saturday. We'll have to actually schedule that for you so we can make sure someone will be there for you on a Saturday. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then lastly, keep me in the loop. If you have any questions at all, especially when comparing apartments to each other, please call me or text me anytime. My team and I, we've toured almost every place in this city. And so we're happy to offer that extra insight to you. Make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So that's almost it. But I do want to talk to you, Alex, about the 2 bonus offers that we offer as a company. Can I go over those with you?
Yes, please.
Okay, awesome. So the first one is NAL Connect. Once you've chosen your new apartment and listed my name on your application, our utility team will contact you to compare the most affordable vendors for you. We can oftentimes save you up to 20% on your utilities, movers, cable, internet, washer, dryer, rental, everything you'll possibly need. This is a totally free service to you, and it just means less hassle when setting everything up. So we will help you with that the moment we find an apartment. Does that sound good?
Yes, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of our clients kind of struggle with setting up the utilities. It's always a headache to stay on hold. So that's something we want to do to, make you feel more comfortable as a client of ours. Now, lastly, what we're going to do is talk about NAL rebate. So on your move-in date, we will email you a $100 dining voucher just for remembering to write our name and company on your rental app. Some clients forget. This does mean the world to us. So we can receive our credit from the apartment. Remember, this doesn't affect your rent. It's simply how we receive credit from the apartment community for referring you. And we thank you by treating you to local restaurant deals that you can scan directly on your mobile app. It's a really cool way to save money and try local restaurants. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, that sounds great. I can't wait to use that.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. Awesome. So thank you so much for your time today, Alex. By the end of the day, I'll send over your personalized list of apartments. Let me know if anything comes up, questions, touring on a Saturday, anything at all, and I'll be happy to help.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much, Pierre. Appreciate it. Look forward to working with you.
You're welcome. I'll follow up real soon.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
cool.
That's it.
That's it. And I think the last part is really good because that's the part they're going to remember. Like, oh, he's going to give me something too. So
Right. And so that's why I was like, position these at the end.
yeah, it just stands out more instead of saying it. Like, you don't want to like lead with that because then it's like they'll probably forget.
Yeah. If you lead with that, by the time you're done doing everything, they're going to forget. So I think that this is structured appropriately. And I think as long as like most agents just do this first part here, like as long as they can set the call expectation, that's where a lot of like troubles will arise because you don't want the call to go everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of locators do wrong is like they don't set the expectation. So it just goes everywhere, And so it's just like right away, thanking them for getting on, letting them know what your job is, what you're going to do, why you're going to do it to help build a long-term relationship for when you're ready to buy a home. And then reminding them right away, all we ask is that you write our name and company on the rental app so we can receive credit. And this doesn't change your rent or specials or concessions. And then once they know that, you're just going to go over what you're going to cover. We're going to talk about survey answers, get on the same page. We're going to talk about the location and literally draw a circle together. Sound good? We're going to talk about how to check for live pricing, how to schedule tours, and then bonus offers at the end of the call. Does that sound good? And that way they know what they're about to get into. That's it. And then you can, agents will be able to flow and say it however they want to say it. But as long as I think they go through the call expectations, then they'll be okay.
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense. It's good. It's
Sweet.
solid.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you like it. You like the script.
I do. I think it's important to start with that. And then, things are going to come up in the body of it when they're talking about their move and stuff like that. But I think the beginning part and the end part are super important.
Yeah. And a lot of that, hopefully, when you pull up the client card, when things change and stuff, I think this is where a lot of that conversation will come out from. Like, they might not necessarily need a 3-bedroom. So then you talk to them about that. So I think a lot of the work and the extraction of what they really need comes out when you're confirming survey answers and stuff. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. But it's nice to know that we can do it in an organized fashion on IQ.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, I
just
like how everything saves. Mine's the same way. It saves in a similar fashion where I can see everything and I just make notes along the way if I need to.